For years, fans of young Sheldon have marveled at the show's heartfelt writing, the stellar performance of Ian Armitage, and the deep dive into the roots of everyone's favorite theoretical physicist, Sheldon Cooper. But beneath the layers of Texas twang, science fair melodrama, and Meemaw's snarky wisdom, there was something hidden in plain sight, something Pixar fans might have noticed if they were just a bit more attentive. Because Young Sheldon, it was never just a prequel to The Big Bang Theory. It was a stealth Toy Story reunion the entire time. The voice cast connection. Let's start with the easiest thread to pull, the cast. Jim Parsons, who not only narrates Young Sheldon but serves as an executive producer, is famously the voice of Booth in Home Adventures with Tip and O, but he has a much more subtle connection to the Pixar world. Though not directly featured in Toy Story, Parsons is often linked in fan theories as a Pixar-adjacent talent due to his mannerisms and animated voice. But we digress. The real clincher is in the supporting cast. Here's the kicker. Laurie Metcalf played Mary Cooper on The Big Bang Theory, and in Young Sheldon, that role is carried on by her real-life daughter, Zoe Perry. But Metcalf, she's also the voice of Mrs. Davis, Andy's mom in Toy Story. That means Sheldon Cooper's mother is literally Andy's mom. Coincidence? Maybe. But this rabbit hole goes far deeper. Annie Potts, Meemaw and Bo Peep. Now this is where things get undeniably deliberate. Annie Potts plays the unforgettable Meemaw, Sheldon's sassy, gambling, drink-sipping, big-hearted grandmother in Young Sheldon. And before she donned the oversized glasses and Texas drawl, she voiced none other than Bo Peep in Toy Story, the shepherdess with a porcelain heart of gold who stole Woody's and the audience's heart. Bo Peep, who is fiercely independent, warm, witty, and doesn't take any nonsense, sound familiar? It's as if Meemaw is Bo Peep, transported from the nursery into the dusty backroads of East Texas. In Toy Story 4, Bo evolves into a resilient, nomadic figure who's lived beyond the toy shelf, a mirror of Meemaw's survivalist independence in a male-dominated, church-going society. They're both matriarchs, mentors, and understated powerhouses in their own right. Coincidence again, or is the Toy Story cinematic universe leaking into CBS prime time? A deeper Pixar echo. Let's step back and examine the core emotional narrative of both series. Toy Story is fundamentally about identity, legacy, and outgrowing childhood. Young Sheldon, too, revolves around a brilliant boy trying to find his place in a world that doesn't quite understand him. Like Woody and Buzz, Sheldon struggles with being the smartest in the room, while also yearning for connection and belonging. In Toy Story 2, Woody questions whether he should stay in a museum forever or go back to Andy, a clear metaphor for mortality, legacy, and purpose. In Young Sheldon, we constantly see young Sheldon torn between a life of intellectual greatness and the emotional pull of his deeply imperfect family. The emotional DNA is eerily similar. Easter eggs that might not be accidents, sure, maybe we're reaching, but what if we're not? There's an episode in Young Sheldon Season 3 where Sheldon creates a toy train simulation that descends into chaos when he introduces conflicting control algorithms. The train veers off track, literally and metaphorically. The episode, while seemingly a standalone story, echoes Toy Story's famous train sequence in the opening of Toy Story 3, where Woody and friends enact a dramatic train rescue. Then there's Missy, Sheldon's twin sister, often characterized as tomboyish, skeptical, and full of heart, kind of like a younger Jessie, the cowgirl from Toy Story 2. She's grounded, funny, and has a better understanding of human nature than anyone else in the Cooper family. And what about the toy dinosaurs Sheldon is shown to be obsessed with? Just like Rex from Toy Story. In one scene, Sheldon even nervously describes dinosaurs as misunderstood creatures, judged only by their extinction. That could be a direct quote from Rex himself. Toying with time. Let's get really weird for a second. What if Young Sheldon isn't just a reunion of Toy Story actors? What if it's a spiritual continuation? Imagine a timeline where Toy Story ends with Andy going off to college, and his toys eventually fade into memory, metaphors for the comfort and simplicity of childhood. In that same emotional vein, Young Sheldon opens with a boy who has no need for toys. He bypasses imaginative play entirely. He's too cerebral, too logical. Is that not the ultimate twist? Sheldon is the boy Andy could have become if he'd gone down a different path, one devoid of play, driven entirely by knowledge and reason. A life where toys were obsolete, their lessons already learned. But the echoes remain. Bo Peep is still there, now in the form of a loving, quirky grandmother. Andy's mom, still worried about her son's future, lives on as Mary Cooper. And in the background, we hear familiar voices nudging Sheldon and us back toward heart, humility, and hope. The final reveal by the end of young Sheldon, particularly as adult Sheldon reflects on his childhood with increasing poignancy, it becomes clear that the show isn't just a celebration of science and intellect, it's a love letter to growing up, just like Toy Story. And maybe that's what makes both franchises so enduring. At the heart of them is a bittersweet truth: childhood is fleeting, and the things, and people, who guide us through it are often left behind, only to be remembered in quiet, nostalgic moments. Toy Story did that with literal toys. Young Sheldon did it with church potlucks, awkward adolescence, and the warmth of a family trying their best. But look closer, and you'll realize they weren't that different after all. The gang got back together. Just not in Andy's room. They did it in East Texas. Would you like me to format this as a blog post or script it out like a video essay with visuals?